Hi, welcome back to my home studio slash bedroom. I'm Benny Debray. I'm a film music composer and a producer, and today we're gonna be doing a little deep dive into how to make some synthwave. I have a reference here that I used, and I made a similar sounding track. It's like not exactly the same, but the goal was just to sort of learn how the genre works and identify all the different parts and components that go into it and see if I could make something that sounds convincing. Okay, let's go. Let's hear the reference. Adorable. So this was a cool reference. My process is always kind of the same when I get a piece of music like this. Basically, I just break down the reference track and try to identify all the different parts, the different elements, and then to recreate them as best as I can in a different melody or rhythm. This is a useful exercise if you're like trying to get good at creating different types of music, because then you learn how to do different genres. Anyway, enough talking. Let's hear it again and figure out how this all happens. So the first thing I noticed that's really a huge component of this track is this repetitive melody line on some synth keys. So I need an instrument that sounds like this. There were two options, and I think I chose the two options. Number one is the cop-out / more expensive option, is like, ooh, I have a plugin that sounds like this. The more fun option is, how can I make this sound like from scratch? So this is what we're doing right now. Using the analog instrument in Ableton, I like made an instrument that sounds kind of like those keys. Let me just show you how it sounds, and then I'll show you how I made it. Lots of delay on this, wow. Okay, so I just like drag it straight onto the MIDI track. This is what it sounds like before you mess with it. This is not what we want. The original sound is super round. This is not round. I'm gonna change the first wave into a sine wave. And then lower down the level of the other sawtooth wave. It still has that little bit of bite from the sawtooth, but it's way down in the background. I want this to sound like keys, not like a sustained pad. So I'm going into the amp 1, and I'm gonna change the shape of that to make it sound more like shorter. Okay, already sounds kind of close, like we barely did anything. I'm doing the same thing on the other wave. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna add in a little like frequency low pass filter to the sawtooth wave, just so it's less lo-fi. I don't know, how do I say this so it sounds less bad. Now we've got some smoothness. Yes, incredible. Very exciting. This is fun. Are you having fun? Next thing we need is some delay, because let's hear the original. It's like you can hear the delay in there. It's pretty strong. 16th note delay is what I'm looking for. Woo! Maybe not that much. Incredible. And later I'll add some reverb to this by just like putting some reverb on a bus. But we have our keys. To be fair, I will show you my other layer of keys in case you have this instrument. But there are so many good cheap or free keys plugins out there, so this is not going to be a problem for you. Also, I just wanted to mention the people at Native Instruments. I don't know if you've seen, I've been working with them on their channel a little bit. If you're really sick of seeing my face in your ads, I apologize. But they've like reached out and given me a discount code for you guys because you follow me. I'm not being paid to say this or anything. It's just that if you were thinking of getting the complete 15 bundles, there's like a huge sale on right now. And on top of that, you can get 10% discounted more by using the code VENNY10. I'll leave the info in the description. So back to the video. Okay, so I needed a melody line that was like kind of similar but not exactly the same, and then a chord progression that was kind of similar, not exactly the same. And so I came up with this. Next, let's listen to the reference again. We have some sort of synth pads. Let's add some synth pads. Okay, I did this with a couple instruments. First one is a stock Ableton plugin called Van der Graaf. I still don't know how to say that, but I love this guy. You just cannot go wrong. It's evolving on its own. Don't even have to do anything. I added some delay to it though. The second layer is like one of my go-tos. I love this synth. It's the Prophet emulation. This is a preset called With Grace. Very graceful. And then the last layer is a synthetic flute. That's the stock Ableton plugin. I love it. I think it's great. Short tangent, but if you saw my last video, I used the Van der Graaf and the synthetic flute, but I made like a completely different genre of music, so it's cool like how versatile these sounds can be if you're a bit creative about it. Anyway, so I combined them in different ranges, and it sounds like this. Bit weird on its own, but together with the keys, okay, so we're sort of getting somewhere. Let's listen to the reference again. Cool, so we already have the melody line, we already have those long pads, now we just need some percussion. The first layer I added was just the straight up like a fake shaker from the percussion core kit. Next, obviously, you need a kick. It comes in later in the reference, but there is a kick. Oh yeah. It's kind of sparse, so I kept it that way. I'm using the 909 core kit. Yeah. Again, 909 for the toms and the other things. That sounds so awkward on its own. Oh my god. I'm not good at percussion, okay? Don't judge me. So then I literally did 16th hand claps. Great. I'm pretty sure, yes. I just got these grooves off of the Ableton grooves. Here. Bomba! Accent 16th. Dragged it right in. It's a bit awkward, but it's getting there. Next I added some bass, obviously. And I think I'm just using really low keys. Bomba. Changes everything. Nice. I can't bear this any longer. I'm adding in my bus sounds because this is too naked and dry and empty. Unmute our delay, and this like, so this is another reverb that I have. Rev intensity. This is better. Did you hear that? There's a little layer of high keys. I'm gonna do that. It adds in a little contrast, like something to be in the foreground for a bit. I'm doing this with another analog instrument, very similar to our bass keys sound, and then adding in another layer of high keys. Cute! Next, in the bridge, they have this sort of different textures going on and more rhythmic things, which I tried to copy with these tracks. Fuzzy analog keys. Oh, nice. Ah! Yes. And then another Prophet line. I mean, you just cannot go wrong. Nice. Cool. I felt like it was still missing a little bit of that. Okay, no. I felt like it was still missing a little bit of that subdivision feel that the original has. So I added in another layer of subdivision. Rhythmic oddities. This is a Prophet sound, but you could really easily make this with like an arpeggiator. Yes. And then what's this? I guess it's another synth layer that I added. I made this when I learned Ableton and then I saved it. This is why you should save your instruments that you make. To save an instrument, you go, you know this. You go in here, boom, and then it saves it. And then you can find it in your user library. And then, was this in the original? Let's see. There's a sort of like sexy girl voice. Can you hear it? Maybe I'm imagining this. It's like breathy. Maybe this is some synths that they're using? Probably. But I was like, screw this, I'm just gonna sing, it's gonna be quicker. Not the breathing. I think I did this because I wanted some pitch bends, because the original has some pitch bends, but I didn't have a keyboard with a pitch bend wheel on hand when I made this, probably. So I didn't do the pitch bend, so my voice is doing the pitch bend. That's my explanation. Okay, so that's all the elements. Main keys, leads that are higher up, and synth pads, and bass and percussion. I mean, it always kind of comes down to that, really. But I think we made some pretty convincing synthwave. What do you think? This is a great way to learn how to make music. And also it's fun. And you can train your ear, or whatever. Thank you for sticking along. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you'd like to see from me. And I will see you in the next one. Hope you're good. Bye. Take care. Enjoy. Here's the finished song.